Back in 1998, a group of workers renovating an old building were utterly stunned to find a woman's body hidden inside the walls. It was a discovery that quickly drew police and reporters to the scene. Not long after the discovery, a local drunk in the area suddenly lost his mind, screaming wildly, running out and tragically taking his own life. Clearly, this wasn't just any ordinary building. So, the government called in a shaman to perform an exorcism. She sensed the presence of Di Fu Ling, earthbound spirits, who linger and feed off the living, taking over the building. The shaman attempted to cast a spell to drive them away, but as soon as she spilled her blood, the spirits struck fiercely in retaliation. She then opened a spirit mirror to enter their realm, only to be targeted by these restless ghosts. Unaware of the danger, she noticed a handbook from 1990 lying on a table nearby. The handbook was the building's resident manual. As the shaman studied it, ghostly hands appeared behind her, forcing her to harm herself. But with her last breath, she tore out a page from a list inside it. After her death, no one dared approach the building, now the spirit's domain. That changed in 2002, when Aayou, the shaman's son and part spiritual himself, appeared. He had been investigating his mother's death for years. One day, he got the torn page his mother saved. Aayou knew it held secrets. His mother wouldn't risk everything for nothing. To find the truth, he entered the building on New Year's Eve, when the gates of hell open, and the spirit world meets ours, hoping to bring peace to his mother and ease trapped souls. Aayou steeled himself, stepped inside and drew a protective talisman on the door. Aayou cast a spell to trap the lost souls, ensuring proper liberations. After finishing, he moved forward. On the first floor, he saw 2 graffiti, warnings about ghosts with split personalities and a 4th spirit. He then went upstairs, spotting a bloody handprint on the wall. Aayou pulled out the building layout and headed straight to the manager's office on the 3rd floor. He'd discovered the manager had murdered many residents in 1990, turning their souls into vengeful spirits. Inside the manager's room, he found a manual, comparing it to the torn page from his mother's notebook. He saw it matched a manual page dated September 1990, the month of move-in. This hinted those who moved in then weren't ordinary. Just as he was about to dig deeper, the scraping sound of a shovel echoed outside the door. Realizing that ghosts might be outside, Aayou quickly hid in a cabinet. Then, in 1996, Xiaoying, Taisun, and Yuan Hao came to this building for a thrill. To prove they'd been there, they wrote, "The paintings that you have seen before." After that, they rushed to the rooftop to film the eerie snow moon legend, a strange phenomenon said to appear only here. Tonight, the ghost gate would open, letting souls from another world pass through. Beiqiang aimed to capture this on camera. But as time passed, Xiaoying found no sign of the snow moon and wondered if she'd been fooled. Just as she spoke, Yuan Hao was shocked to see a strange kind of blood invisible to the naked eye, but visible on the camera. Xiaoying, skeptical, grabbed the camera and confirmed Yuan Hao was right. Though amazed, their moment was cut short when the door behind them slammed shut, startling everyone. Taisun rushed over to check, but found the door wouldn't open. Xiaoying arrived and, oddly, the door swung open with a slight push. She thought Taisun had lost it. Just then, a chilling gust of wind blew in as the door opened. Without much thought, the three kept moving forward. Passing a wardrobe, Xiaoying felt a cold breeze on her neck. At first, she suspected a prank from her friends, but after checking, she realized it was the wind causing the noise. Taisun, witnessing this, suddenly looked terrified and said the room was sealed. There shouldn't be any wind. His words sent chills down their spines, leaving them too tense to speak. At that moment, Taisun spotted something behind Xiaoying through the camera, a silent, shadowy figure. The two bolted off, leaving Xiaoying puzzled as she chased after them, confused why they'd abandon her. Seeing her act normal, everyone doubted their fears. Then Yuan Hao noticed his camera was missing, likely left inside. Though scared, he wanted to retrieve it and tried persuading Taisun to come back. But Taisun and the others took off. Yuan Hao was stuck, unsure what to do when suddenly a creepy cooing whispered in his ear. Yuan Hao nervously grinned, then suddenly appeared before Xiaoying. She was puzzled, about to ask why, when a horde of restless spirits lunged at the group. In 2002, Aayou came out after hearing a noise and decided to use the rolling door to travel back to September 10th, 1990 to see what happened. As he started his ritual, everything transformed to 1990's scene. He found Wang Zhen's guest list in a handbook. Suddenly Meiwa cried for help, and Aayou realized the killer, the manager, was active then. He froze until the cries stopped, then stepped out. He headed to room 203, planning to use the list to perform rites and help the souls rest. Just as he was about to strike the man on the bed, the man's wife suddenly appeared, attacking him like a madwoman online. Luckily, Aayou was quick and dodged the attack. He then used a ritual to send both of them off. After finishing, Aayou left the room, but suddenly heard the voices of Xiaoying and the others nearby. He guessed that time and space might be overlapping and knew they were in danger. He shouted from a distance for them to hide immediately. Once he finished, the surroundings fell silent. Aayou then went to room 204, intending to perform a ritual for the restless soul there, but unexpectedly found a little girl curled up in the wardrobe, too scared to move. After asking, Aayou learned the girl wasn't on the list of spirits. Initially, he thought she was a friend of some blessed soul, accidentally killed during a blessing. Concerned, he took out his exorcism tools to send her off. But just as he was about to act, the lights went out and the girl vanished. Aayou searched around, thinking she'd hidden, when suddenly a demon appeared, blocking him. At that critical moment, Aayou's sharp intuition pushed the evil spirit back. Under the bed, he found a crumpled paper and unfolded it. A missing person notice for the same girl he'd just seen. He sensed she was important. Just as he prepared to search for her, the building's manager suddenly attacked. Aayou was no match for him and was about to be knocked unconscious. At that critical moment, he heard the ringing sound calling him. Aayou recognized it as his mother's voice. It was her saving him. Sure enough, when he woke up, the caretaker had vanished. But the door remained locked. Aayou knew the caretaker wouldn't hurt him directly, but would harm others. Intending to act bravely, he was suddenly stopped by a girl. She wanted him to follow her and leave, but Aayou hesitated. Unbeknownst to him, the caretaker returned again. Remembering what he'd just been through, Auntie gave up pretending to be cold and quickly followed the girl. Passing the stairs, she accidentally left a bloody handprint on the wall, but Auntie didn't notice. She closely followed the girl to room 204 and learned the truth about the disappearance. The girl, named Ali, suffered from schizophrenia and was despised by her father, who saw her as a monster and beat her daily. Ali begged her father repeatedly to spare her, but when he stopped beating her, the evil side of Ali suddenly surfaced again, terrifying him. In a sudden rage, the father shoved his daughter harshly, unintentionally causing her tragic death. Overcome with panic and fear, instead of calling the police, he made a desperate choice. He wrapped her lifeless body in plastic and concealed it within the wall. To hide the horrifying truth, he falsely claimed she was missing and plastered the neighborhood with missing person posters. When Ali regained consciousness, she found herself trapped, struggling for air, slowly suffocating behind the cold wall. Meanwhile, Aayou uncovered the dark secret. After Ali died, an evil spirit possessed the caretaker, who then slaughtered everyone inside the building. When Aayou confronted the caretaker about the spirit, the caretaker appeared out of nowhere and launched a sudden attack on him. Aayou was outmatched and desperate, trying the ghost gate again, thinking he returned to 2002. But he failed, ending up in 1996 unaware Xiaoying and others in his present had trouble. Aayou and Xiaoying communicated across space, but kept moving instead of hiding. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't leave the second floor. Xiaoying guessed they were trapped in a ghost trap. As they decided their next move, the janitor with a shovel suddenly appeared. The three scattered amidst his laughter, oblivious that Yuan Hao behind them was already in danger. Xiaoying was suddenly pulled, bent over in room 204, then a ghostly hand grabbed and dragged her away. Xiaoying was briefly controlled by 20, but just at the crucial moment, Aayou suddenly appeared and brought her back to reality. Aayou, who still believed she was living in the year 2002, saw Xiaoying and Taisun as two reckless kids, so to keep them safe, she decided to leave the place together with them. The three set off, hoping to find a way out, but soon Aayou realized they couldn't escape the building. If this were truly 2002, why were they trapped inside? Lost in confusion, Aayou suddenly gasped when she looked ahead. Lighting her flashlight, she revealed a horrifying sight. A corpse. And it was Yuan Hao. Xiaoying wanted to move closer to check, but Aayou stopped her, knowing it was a trap set by Erlin. Moments later, something unexpected happened. He woke up and claimed he couldn't see, but said if he found the key, they could leave. Aayou didn't push but quietly took the key from under him. Naively, Aayou thought they would finally get out. But then the iron block on his body suddenly fell off, catching Yuan Hao's attention. Yuan Hao quickly lunged at him. Tai-sun was expected to help Aayou, but instead he ran off alone, even trying to lock the door behind him. Seeing this, Xiaoying was broken inside. She never expected her teammate to be so selfish. She tried to block the door until Aayou suddenly appeared. With one kick, he burst open Tai-sun's door, and the three continued on their way. But then Tai-chun seemed possessed, writing on the wall, "This place is haunted by multiple personalities." Seeing this, Aayou finally sensed something was terribly wrong. If it were 2002, those words should have appeared long ago, not just now. Chilled to the bone, Aayou asked Xiaoying the date but got no reply. Instead, he was told it was 1996. At that moment, Aayou realized he'd traveled to the wrong time. That meant the Xiaoying standing before him wasn't alive, but already dead. Without hesitation, Aayou pulled out the exorcism staff, trying to save Xiaoying. Though she couldn't accept the truth, her body betrayed her. 2 streams of bloody tears trickled down. Despite this, her spirit wasn't ready to let go. She had once been told that if Aayou died, she'd live. So crazed and desperate, she lunged at Aayou. As they fought, Tai-kun suddenly appeared, trying to kill Xiaoying. It turned out she had also heard those words. After speaking, Tai-jun lunged at Aayou, who fought back fiercely. All 3 were badly hurt. Aayou tried to escape, but Tai-jun grabbed her neck. Before she could do more, Xiaoying appeared and killed Tai-jun. Xiaoying then recalled Tai-jun had killed herself and Yuan Hao to survive. And now Xiaoying finally got her revenge. Afterward, Xiaoyun found Aayou. He no longer wanted to keep reliving his life, so he begged Aayou for a ritual to release him. Aayou agreed, but just as she began, an evil spirit suddenly appeared. Aayou knew that chasing after it wouldn't help. So, he traveled back to 2002 again. Strangely, no matter which door he opened after crossing, he always ended up back inside the building. Realizing he was trapped in the time loop, Aayou was devastated. In the end, he understood that he was already dead. The barrier he had set was actually an absolute boundary, trapping his ghost forever inside the building. And that's the end of story. A place where grief and curiosity led them straight into a nightmare. A psychic trying to save his mother's soul. Students looking for thrills. None of them knew the door they entered never truly lets anyone out. If you made it this far, thanks for watching Bahal Recap. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another chilling story. See you in the next nightmare.